So I just wanted to go over some of the surface area examples with you one more time, just to show you maybe a different way of thinking about it from the Khan Academy videos. So for surface area, I always like to think in terms of like the positioning of all of the surfaces on the figure. So for example, if we have like a rectangular prism like this, you might want to look at the top and the bottom first, see how you know that they'll be the same. So I'm going to say top and bottom. And you can kind of shade it in with a color if you wanted to. So that's the top, that's the bottom. So see how the top and the bottom, they're both a rectangle of 3 by 10. So the top and the bottom are each 3 times 10. So each one is 30. So if the top is 30 and the bottom is 30, the top and bottom are going to be a total of 60. Just going to switch my color so you can see a little better. We'll do blue. For you can also think in terms of the left and the right. So there's this little rectangle there on the left. There's another rectangle here on the left. So left and right are, so if that's 4 inches, you know that this side is 4 inches, this side is 4 inches. You can go label everywhere on the diagram. So the left and the right are each 3 by 4. So that would be 12 each for left and right. So 3 by 4 would be 12 on the left, plus 12 on the right would be 24 for left and right. And then all you're left with is the front and the back. So the front, you can see it's here, 4 by 10. And in the back, it's also going to be 4 by 10. So front and back are each 4 by 10. So it's 40 in the front, 40 in the back, gives you 80. And then you're going to take all these 3 numbers from the top and bottom, left and right, front and back. Those are all the surfaces on the figure, and just add them together. So 60 plus 24, that would be 84, plus another 80 gives you a total of 164 square inches for the surface area. When you have something that looks kind of like this, like a pyramid, you can kind of do the same exact process. I'm just going to like separate my work here. So think about the positioning of all the surfaces. So the first thing you have is this bottom flat surface, that's a rectangle. So the bottom, oh no, I hope my pen doesn't die. Of course it's going to die. But hopefully you can follow along even if I don't use different colors. Okay, so bottom is a rectangle of 10 by 2. So that's 20 at the bottom. It's like part of our answer. Then you have the front and the back triangle. So the front one, I'll outline it here. It's going to be the same exact size as the back one. So the front is this triangle that's 10 for the base and 12 for the height. So front and back are, and the formula for area of a triangle again is half of the base times the height. The base is 10, the height is 12. So the front and the back are each half of 120. So they're each 60. So there's 60 on the front and 60 on the back will give you 120 total for the front and back surfaces. And then maybe my black still works. Yep. Okay, and then you have your left and your right, these more narrow triangles here. So see this one on the left, on the right, it's going to be exactly the same size. So left and right, sorry, I have to move this over. They have a base of 2 and a height of 14. Again, they're triangles. So the formula is half base times height. So half of 2 times 14 for each one, which would be half of 28, which is 14. So you have 14 on the left, 14 on the right, gives you a total of 28 for the left and right surfaces. Then you just need to add all of these 3 together to get the total surface area. So 20 and 120 would be 140. 140 and 28 would be a total of 168. And in this case, it's square centimeters. And again, for a cylinder, same process, just look at all the different surfaces. So let's take the top and the bottom first. There are the circles. Circle here and a circle here. So top and bottom, they'll be the same size. And remember, the area for a circle is pi r squared. Now, we don't really know the radius here right off the bat because they give us the diameter. But remember that the radius is always half of the distance across. So the distance across is 16, that's your diameter. The radius is half of that, which must be 8. So here you have pi times 8 squared. Or you could say 64 pi. You have 64 pi on the top and 64 pi on the bottom. Gives you a total of 128 pi. So you can multiply 128 by 3.14. And that should be 401.92 for the top and the bottom. And now we just have this extra area, like the wrap around it. So you can kind of imagine that this is a roll of paper towels, for example. So imagine if you take a paper towel off of the roll, think about what shape it is. It should be a rectangle. So this rectangle will have a height of 21 meters. So I'm just going to call this the wrap. Which is a rectangle, so it will be the base times the height. The height we could see automatically it would be 21 meters, and then the base of the rectangle is going to be whatever this distance is around the circle. Distance around the circle is called the circumference, and that distance can be found by doing the pi times the diameter. So we're going to have pi times diameter and then times 21. The diameter in this picture is the distance across 16. So we're going to have pi times 16 times 21. You can multiply it all on your calculator. And you end up with 1055.04. And then to find the total surface area, you're just adding these two numbers together. Again, use your calculator and you should get total of 1,456.96 square meters for the surface area here. There are 4 problems on your practice set that are cones. You do not need to find the surface area of a cone. It's a little too complicated, especially to do at home without your teacher. So make sure you skip them. I believe it's numbers 5, 6, 16, and 17. So don't go crazy trying to do them. But you might want to do your work for these on like a separate sheet of paper, just so that way you can organize all of your thoughts, top, bottom, left, right, front, back, wrap around, whatever you need based on the picture that you're given. And also remember that on the Google document there is a formula sheet for your use. So if you don't like thinking about it this way and you would rather just use the formula sheet, that is fine as well, as long as you're plugging everything in correctly. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to email me. Have a great week.